The bell rang loudly, bouncing through the halls like a call to war. Zara, Ada, and Toby walked out of their literature class, laughing about how the teacher mispronounced onomatopoeia.
Did you hear the way she said it? Toby chuckled. Onome Pierre, like she was calling a place in Jers.
Ada burst into laughter. Leave her, I beg. At least she tried. Last week, she said amnesia like it was a girl's name. Zara laughed too, though hers was softer. Her eyes kept sliding towards Toby. How his dimples flashed when he grinned. How the sun cut the edge of his shore. She tried to push the feelings down like she always did. He didn't know how she felt. He couldn't, because when he looked at someone with that spark in his eyes, it wasn't her. It was Ada. It was always Ada. Zara's chest tightened as she watched him brush a leaf off Ada's shoulder without a second thought. Ada didn't even flinch. You guys coming for the drama club later? Zara asked, forcing a steady voice.
Yeah, you said you promised to help me practice my lines, remember?
I'll come watch and laugh. Ada grinned. That's my contribution. Zara nodded, but inside her, thoughts swirled. Toby had no idea, and Ada didn't even like him. No, Ada liked Dio. Zara wanted to scream, but she said nothing, just smiled and walked beside them. Three best friends, all hiding truths they didn't dare speak. Toby always felt like the luckiest guy in school, not just because he had two girls as best friends, but because they were Sarah and Ada. Different in every ways, but both so loyal it hurts. He glanced at Zara, who was scribbling something in her notebook, probably one of her deep quotes again, then at Ada, who was speeding her pen between her fingers.
Ada, do you ever sit still? He
I am a
asked.
woman of movement, she said dramatically. Stillness is for starters.
You are not serious. Toby
But he
laughed.
loved that about her. Ada had this lightness to her, this playful charm that made ordinary days feel like holidays. He remembered the science fair when she called electricity the heartbeat of the gods. Everyone had laughed, but Toby couldn't stop watching her. Zara looked up briefly and caught him staring again. Her smile was tight. You have been laughing at everything she says lately.
She's funny. Toby shrugged.
She has always been. Zara didn't reply. He shifted in his seat, feeling that uncomfortable pressure in the space between them.
Did Zara know? Could she tell?
He hadn't meant for it to happen, but every time Ada smiled, something inside him leaned forward. Still, he couldn't say it, not when it might ruin everything. So he laughed again, laughed harder than necessary, and Zara just turned back to her notes. Ada couldn't figure it out. Zara has been distant all day. Normally, she was the one making sarcastic jokes during math or rolling her eyes when Toby acted like a goofball. Today, silence. Are you okay? Ada asked as they walked to the canteen. I'm fine, Zara said quickly, just tired. Toby tossed a bottle cap in the air and caught it behind his back.
Must be from thinking too much about biology, he teased.
Zara gave a weak laugh. Maybe. Ada frowned. Something was off. But her thoughts quickly drifted back to earlier home economics class. Dio had passed her the scissors, and their fingers brushed for a second. Then he winked, a real intentional wink.
Why are you smiling like that? Toby asked.
Nothing. Just remember something funny. Zara narrowed her eyes. Dio again? Ada cheeks burned. No, what? You're mad. You better not be falling for that boy, Zara muttered. He's all charm and zero heart, Toby laughed.
Zara, let her crush you, please.
It's a crush, Ada insisted, but her voice wasn't strong enough to be convincing. They found seats near the mango tree. Ada chewed her puff-puff, slowly glancing from Zara to Toby. Something was changing between them. She felt it in the air. The unspoken glances, the weird silences, and the fake laughter. And suddenly it hit her. They were all pretending to not see what was in front of them. Later that week, Toby walked beside Zara after school. Ada had to stay back for choir practice, and for once it was just the two of them. They walked in silence for a bit, and the crunch of their footsteps on the sandy school road filling the space
You've been
between
quiet
them.
lately, he said. nudging her shoulders lightly.
Zara forced a smile. Just tired.
That's the third time this week you've said that.
She sighed. Well, maybe I'm tired of pretending. Toby slowed down.
Pretending about what?
Zara froze. She hadn't meant to say that out loud. Nothing, she mumbled. Forget it. He looked at her concerned.
Z, if something is bothering you, talk to me.
Zara swallowed hard. How could she say it? I love you? Just like that? Would he laugh? Would it ruin everything? I just feel like we are not the same anymore, the three of us. He nodded.
Yeah, I feel it too.
Their eyes met, and for a second, Toby wondered if this was the moment to say something about Ada. But Zara looked away before he could find the words. Let's not mess it up, she whispered. Toby nodded. Never. But as they reached the school gate, Zara smiled again. This one didn't reach her eyes. Ada scrolled through her phone that night, her lips curling into a smile as she stared at Dayo's latest WhatsApp status. It was a blurry selfie of him in the school lab with the caption, Chemistry Everywhere. He was wearing a lab coat as usual, but somehow still looked good. She knew Zara didn't approve. Zara didn't like Dayo. She never had. So Ada hadn't told her about the message he sent after choir practice. You looked cute today. Just 4 words, but they replayed in her head like a song. She replied, of course, lightly, not something serious. Lol, thanks. You too. But now her mind was racing. What if he really liked her? What if he was changing for her? Ada dropped her phone on the bed and laid back, staring at the ceiling. One tiny lie had become a wall between them, and tomorrow it might all come crashing down. She heard a message beep and checked again. Oh, it was from Zara. Zara, are you home yet? Yeah, just got in. We need to talk tomorrow in person. Ada stared at the screen. Did Zara know? The touch sent a chill through her. She wanted to be honest, but also she didn't want Zara to talk her out of it. Not again. So she typed, Sure, everything is okay? 3 dot blinked, then disappeared. No reply. Ha. Morning came and the air in the school felt heavier than usual. Zara saw Ada at the assembling ground, standing a few rows ahead. She wanted to walk up to her and say, We need to talk, like she planned. But Toby joined her, smiling like everything was usual and fine.
You good? He asked.
She nodded. Yeah. Ada turned slightly and waved. Zara waved back unsure. They hadn't spoken all morning. Zara had stayed up rehearsing what to say, how to tell Ada that Dayo wasn't right for her, that he was just playing games. But when the bell rang after assembly, they all filed out. Something else happened. Dayo walked straight up to Ada in public, in front of everyone.
Morning, sweetheart,
He said, loud enough for half of the school to hear. Ada blinked. Hi. Zara's jaw clenched. Toby raised a brow. Then Dayo did the unthinkable. He handed Ada a small red note and winked.
I'll see you during break.
He walked off like it was nothing. Ada looked dazed. The note trembled in her hand. Zara's heart sank. This was bigger than she thought, and she still said nothing. Later in the class, Ada passed a note to Zara. Can we talk later after school? Zara wrote back, sure, but deep down she didn't know if talking would fix anything anymore. Too many things were sitting between them now. Words never said, feelings never admitted, and this is all happening. Toby hadn't been paying much attention during chemistry. His mind kept drifting back to the assembly drama. Dayo and Ada. Really? He had seen the notes, seen her blush, seen the stupid way Dayo staggered and swaggered off like he won a prize. After class, he cornered Zara. I told her, Zara said. She thinks she can change him. He looked at her.
Why didn't you tell me?
It wasn't my place. Besides, I thought you liked her. Silence. Toby's heart thudded. She knew?
You think I like Ada?
Zara didn't answer.
Do you think I don't notice how you look at me? He asked suddenly, voice low.
She stiffened. He took a step closer.
Zara, I've always wondered, but I didn't want to mess things up.
Zara's eyes burned, but she quickly blinked. You already did, she whispered. Then she walked away. Toby stood there stunned. Everything was unraveling, and it was just the beginning. Ada sat alone on the concrete bench near the school library, tapping her feet anxiously. She clutched the red note Dio had given her. She hadn't opened it yet. She was waiting for Zara. They agreed to talk after school, but Zara was late. She always used to be early. When she finally arrived, Zara didn't smile. You are angry, Ada said softly. Zara sat down, arms folded. I'm not angry. Then what? Zara looked at her, just confused and tired. Ada held out the red note. He said he wants to take me seriously. Zara scoffed. He said that to like 6 other girls this year. Ada flinched. I'm not them. No, you're not. Zara said quieter. No, you are my best friend. I didn't mean to hide it from you. You didn't hide it. You lied. The words hit Ada harder than she had expected. She opened her mouth to speak but couldn't find the right things to say. Zara just stood up. You know what? It's fine. Do what you want. Zara walked off, her shoulders stiff. Ada looked at the red note in her hands. When she finally opened it, all it said was, Come to the back of the hall. I have a surprise for you. But nothing could compare to the weight she was carrying. She had just broken something that might never be fixed. The next day, everything felt different. Toby saw the shift before either the girls even said a word. Zara sat at the back of the class, headphones in. Ada was quiet all through assembly. They didn't sit together at break, and he tried to bridge the gap.
Hey, Toby said sharply. Leave her alone.
Dio raised a brow.
Who? You know who, Ada. Dio laughed. Bro, relax. It's just fun. She's not some game. And what are you, her bodyguard?
Toby clenched his fist.
Just warning you.
Dio smirked.
She likes me. That's not my fault.
Toby walked away before he did something stupid, but the damage was done. That evening, he messaged Ada. Don't trust him. Ada, you too? I thought you understood me. He didn't reply. She didn't either. And just like that, silence spread between all 3 of them. The rain began slowly, with soft drizzles tapping the classroom windows. By the time school closed, it had turned into a downpour. Students rushed out under umbrellas, but Zara stayed behind, sitting quietly in the empty art room, staring at the mural they painted last term. Unity in color. She remembered how Ada and Toby had laughed while painting it. How they smeared paint on each other's faces, giggling like little kids. Now every corner of the world seemed to echo a different version of themselves, one that had no longer existed. Her phone buzzed, a message from Toby. Where are you? She didn't reply. Across campus. Toby stood by the old gate watching the rain slice through the dusty earth. He hadn't spoken to Zara since Ada told him off in a text. Everything felt tense, confused. He didn't know who he was angry with more. Dio for playing with Ada, Ada for letting him, or himself for waiting too long to be honest. Inside the girls' hostel corridor, Ada sat cross-legged on her bed, holding the red note again. She had meant to throw it away, but something kept stopping her. Maybe it was hope, maybe it was fear, maybe it was regret. She typed a message to Zara. I miss us, Ada said. Then she deleted it. Outside, the rain poured heavier, and in the 3 different corners of the school, 3 best friends sat in silence, each one wondering if the silence between them was now louder than anything they could ever say. No shouting, no confessions, just rain, and the things they never said. Ada sat behind the school rusty bleachers, Daya's arms lazily draped around her shoulders. She smiled faintly as he scrolled through his phone, barely paying attention to her. She had skipped English class to be with him again. He glanced at her.
You are quiet. You miss your friends or something?
Ada looked away. No, I'm fine. Dio leaned in and kissed her forehead. You know I like you, right? She nodded, though her chest felt hollow. Later that evening, as she walked past the senior block, she heard him whispering to another girl behind the staff room. Same line, she realized. Same words, different girl. She didn't cry immediately. She just stood still as the truth sank in. He had never picked her. He had never picked her. He picked the game. She didn't move. She stood there, frozen, as Dio leaned close to the other girl, using the same soft voice, the same stupid charm. Her chest tightened, and then tears came. Tears, hot, embarrassing tears. She couldn't stop. She turned away, wiping her face quickly, hoping no one saw her, but the shame struck like a mud on her skin. How could she have been so foolish? How could she have believed he was different with her? How? She hated herself for hoping, hated him for making her believe, but most of all, she hated the silence that had grown between her and Zara. That one person who might have told her the truth if only she had listened. As she walked away, head bowed, shoulders trembling, she knew nothing would ever, ever be the same again.